Ladies and gentlemen, gird your loins for a mesmerizing journey aboard the starship USS Picard,
It's
where the good
metaphorical.
captain himself, a man of considerable wisdom and fortitude, navigates the temporal seas with the grace of a mighty riverboat.
That's
While the
season 2, Mark.
narrative unfolds, do keep in mind that the fate of our oceanic friends, the humpback whales,
No, Mark, that's not relevant.
resonates through the stars as
Hello there.
poignantly as a
Jesus.
lonesome banjo playing on a sultry summer's eve.
I told Mark to keep his answers shorter, but he started rambling on. I changed what model he's using. But he won't shut up. Alright. Star Trek Picard. It's okay. It's fine. It's an adequate show.
It's decent.
It's better than Section 31, for sure.
Yeah. In that it actually has a sensible plot that does stuff.
Yes.
And though yeah, a lot of the issue with Section 31 was that it turned a decidedly TV show plot into a film.
Yeah, they maybe tried. Anyway. So, I have some heresy of Star Trek Picard. I like season 1 and 2 more than season 3. People seem to love season 3, but it's just, I don't know, it felt too fan servicey for me. It was just TNG, am I right?
Yeah. Season 3 is well made, but yeah, it's basically just, hey, let's get all the TNG cast back.
I mean, I did always say, since before this came out, all people actually want is TNG season 8.
Yeah.
And apparently that's what they were trying to do. But not right now. I also feel bad for, I don't know the actor's name, Soji, because they got cut out and they were like the main character of season 1. They just lost the job. I don't know what happened to them. Oh well.
Yeah. They've set up for the character to be in future Star Trek. But that requires a Wesley series.
We could have a Wesley series. We could. Wesley and Soji. Or it is Soji, right? The one that didn't die?
I think so.
Okay.
I've got a nice mead here.
You've been having a lot of mead. Did you get
Yeah.
Did you go to
Oh.
UK Costco?
No, I bought it from their website. So I bought double bottles and then some sparkling ones, and I've made the cocktail with the cherry sparkling one this time. It's quite nice.
Wow. Well, I've got a store brand Diet Cola. It's all right. So yeah, season
it required
1.
£70 to be free, so I bought 2 meats and those things.
Okay. So Picard is another show, like most of the modern shows, where I don't really remember what happens in each specific episode. I just remember the plot overall because it's heavily serialized and it's just one long story that you have a week between each bit.
Yeah.
I know what happens in this one, mostly. There's an interview, Picard gets mad, and then we shoot a lady, and she explodes.
And the funny thing is that we're going backwards in the context for what happens in this episode.
What do you mean?
Because we've seen the attack on Mars from the
Oh.
perspective of other people already.
Yeah. So we're watching now in chronological order instead of release order. It's all good. It all makes sense. It's all coming together. Also, I set the counter to be just general TNG references. I don't know that there's a lot in seasons 1 and 2. I'm not counting Picard himself.
Season 2 has a lot in Picard's room in his house.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
There's a lot of
Also, this is the Amazon version of the show.
Hmm.
It shouldn't matter. It's just the little intro is going to be a slightly different length, depending on if it
Yep.
says Amazon or CBS.
Ah, yes. They started it the way they ended
Ah,
TNG. This isn't the version on the soundtrack.
I don't know what to tell you, man. That's a good looking ship, though.
Yeah. Because the version which I've listened to a lot is with a female voice. And that's definitely from Picard. It's got the Picard logo on
Why isn't it Brent singing?
it.
Oh my god, Picard, you go to one poker game and suddenly you're an expert. Oh, I guess this counts as a reference because this is just, well, this is several references actually. How many does
Yeah.
this count as? Let's see, there's poker, 10
Blue
forward,
Skies is the
blue
reference.
skies,
Yeah.
and
So it's
data.
definitely 3.
You know, I'm not going to count characters. Just going to count places and events and stuff. We also could have maybe done with a little bit of deepfake on data. He looks all right, but he's not quite what he looked like in when we last saw him. Are you a coward, Captain? Do you feel lucky, Captain? He doesn't drink. Patrick, he doesn't drink. Patrick.
He has the ability to drink.
It lubricates his biofunctions.
Godspeed, you masochists.
The show is
It's a
fine.
decent show. It's just not fantastic. That's also a literally impossible hand in
Yeah,
every
what's
way,
not
shape, or form.
decent is that Data is cheating. He can't do that. That would violate his ethical subroutines.
Not only
What
are
kind
there
of dream
that
is
many
this?
queens in a deck full stop, there's all the same queen.
Yeah. Oh, the Red Queen. That's a reference to what's her name? Captain Rachel Garrett. Of course. Oh, a puppy. What happened to number 1 in seasons 2 and 3? Where'd the dog go?
Isn't that Stuart's actual dog? Don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't know if that's Patrick's dog, but it is a pit bull because he did stuff with pit bull rescues. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3 employees there. What do they get out of this? Is this what they wanted to do with their lives? You're in the Federation, man. You can go do your own video or something.
It's peaceful, I suppose. And here we go.
Is this Dodge?
Yeah.
This is Doge.
Oh, Zahians.
Zahian.
Zahians are from Discovery.
Yes.
I don't remember her full name. Poe, the teenage queen.
Yes.
Also, Poe did not have rocks for hair, but I guess this
Poe
guy does.
Dameron?
No, incorrect.
No, the queen.
She liked ice cream. Guess it's been quite a while since Discovery, so plenty of time to make friends with them. A couple hundred years.
Yeah.
You sound like you're on your webcam microphone.
What?
Sounds like you're on your webcam microphone. It's very room Soundy. Ooh, he dead.
Yep.
Lol.
Just straight up murdering the person she was with.
How about now?
Same.
Why would my voice be bad? It's the same microphone.
I don't know. Let me check my end here. Audio. Yeah. It might have been NVIDIA broadcast. Say something again.
How about now?
Oh no, it's the same. She activated.
Yeah, the stills have been programmed into her.
Soma, do I sound okay to you?
Yeah, it seems fine.
Test myself. Test 2, test 3.
I mean, I can hear you. It's not a problem. It just sounds like a different fidelity microphone than I'm used to hearing.
When I play back myself, yeah, I just listen to myself back on stream. I sound fine on stream, so I don't know what's up with your output.
Okay. Well, the output of the
This may well be my favorite
stream.
title sequence of the shows.
Isa, that's her name. Or Isa. Oh, that's a Borg cube. Is that a reference? Does that count?
Yeah, it's definitely going to count later on.
Are we counting Borg
We're
references?
counting
counting
TNG
TNG
references.
references.
Well, I mean, isn't the entire show a TNG reference?
Okay, but like specific things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 10
Specific
Forward
things.
being there. Or them playing poker.
Yeah.
Or the captain's yacht, or Picard Day, or
Or Maddox, Bruce, Commander, Associate Chair of Robotics, Daystrom Technological Institute.
Yeah. I just what I said about this being my favorite title sequence. The season 3 one is my favorite because of all of the Easter eggs in it for the show. And then this is my favorite after that.
So Patrick Stewart, he had previously said he was never going to do Star Trek again unless it was something that he believed would be incredibly powerful, like the best thing he's ever read. So we'll see if that paid off with this show.
Eva Dalton.
Oh, we're going to be coming back
Yeah,
to
but
this
isn't
set a
that just
lot.
interesting that he decided to do that with season 1? It's a passable story, but yeah, I wouldn't say it fits that criteria.
It's a pretty nice chateau. This is a nice place.
Yeah.
Ooh, the puppy. I guess, was the cameraman like holding out a treat? I'm not qualified to judge that accent. I don't know if that's... Or
It
the
sounds
words.
passable.
Hello.
Hello. Well, it's not enslaving animals for food purposes. But still, Captain, you're allowing it to kill a defenseless animal. I'm old, Gandalf. I know I don't look it. Yes, you do.
I did like Laris as well, and she disappears, especially in season 3.
Was that an Alexa? That counts for sure.
Yep.
Oh, what kinds of ships? I can't quite see what kinds of ships are those. They looked a little triangular, but I don't think they were the right triangle type. On the little display. No, guys, you're in the Federation. You don't have to be servants for a rich old guy. You can go do something else.
I just like it.
Watch out! What do you mean?
My favorite piece of practical future technology is actually the glass phones in the Expanse, because they use them all the time, and it's quite nice.
I still need to watch that show. Eventually, one day,
We can
maybe.
watch
We
it on
use
stream.
glass phones now.
No, as in like they're literally just see-through glass phones, which
Yeah, that sounds like a horrible idea. I don't want people to know what I'm looking at on the other side of my phone.
yeah, but at the same time, it's just a neat thing that they use practically in the show all the time. That's was my point. In terms of on-screen technology, it's a nice.
We could have it now. We could make an OLED screen that is transparent. We don't.
I think we can count this
Because
as a TNG reference.
They went too fast for me to like. Okay, what did I see? One of them was from Star Trek Insurrection.
Yeah.
One of them was from First Contact, and one of them was from the episode where Worf goes back to Kronos to face judgment for his father's crimes, alleged crimes. I guess I'll count that as 3 references.
It's a very interesting shift in screen technology that you see on screen in sci-fi these days, with those holographic displays and displays on glass, because we can just animate that in now, as
Yeah.
opposed to 20 years ago, it was just completely infeasible to do that.
I don't know. I like when we have actual screens. These holograms look infuriating to use.
True.
Like, the nice thing about a physical screen is it has a black backing that it gives you a nice consistent image. This, you can see the dude through the screen. If you're trying to look at detail, that's not... You're gonna lose detail.
the pyramids. Why are you
Okay.
comparing moving an entire civilization to building some pyramids? Piles of rock. I don't
Well, you
know.
see, in the future, they still haven't figured out how to do it.
They have replicators. They could just replicate the rock in
You
place.
wouldn't replicate a pyramid. You wouldn't download a pyramid.
I would replicate everything and anything. Yeah, that happened. Thank you. This is exposition.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're using exposition to demean Captain Picard. We gotta make Captain Picard a little vulnerable, whimpering old man.
No, that's not what I was doing at all. They're using it as a character moment for him.
Yeah, and
This
his
was a
character
good
moment
thing.
is to become a little whimpering old man.
He's not. He doesn't become a whimpering old man. He
What
goes
are you
and
talking
solves
about?
the issue.
This sounds very personal to you for some reason. Why are you so... Relax.
The entire Picard series was just, at least the first season and the second season, was just dismantling Jean-Luc Picard
See,
as a
I have
character.
the opposite
The
impression of
opposite.
this show. My impression of it is that I feel like Captain Picard is too revered. He's too important. Like everybody looks up at him in awe when he's giving a speech. Except this lady. She doesn't care. But like
Except this
the
lady
crew
and the
that
admiral that tells him to shut the fuck up.
well, he was way out of line in that scene.
Yeah.
But like the crew that he gets later, Dr. Girardi, she's like a fangirl for him.
Fangirl.
Where are you going, Patrick? This is your house.
Hey, easiest way to terminate an interview is to walk out on it.
So what
How does
about
be-
that
say them to get
speech
out
made
on
him seem
live
frail?
television?
Can't believe he abandons his dog in the later seasons.
It's like he forgot he even had a dog.
I think that interview
Bourne
went
likes her.
well.
Well, considering the purpose of it was to paint him as an awful person and paint Starfleet as bad as well.
No, I don't think you were in TNG. No, I don't know you, in fact. I don't know if she was born when TNG was airing. How would he know you?
The actress? No.
Yeah.
The actress was not alive when TNG was on the air.
Was I alive when TNG was on the air? Hang on.
What year were you born?
95.
No, you were not on. You were not alive when TNG was on the air.
Okay.
Was 95 the last year, or was 94 the last year? Maybe you were alive.
I certainly wasn't watching the show in any event.
No, no. Maybe you were in utero. You were loading. You were still having Service Pack 1 installed.
The first time I watched Star Trek was on the air. It was through just regular old TV,
Yep.
which I've told it before, but it was a long time ago. The first Star Trek I saw was Insurrection. I kept seeing little bits and pieces of it on TV, but I could never catch the beginning or the end or be able to watch long enough to see any substantial portion of it. And it was really irritating that I could never get the whole story.
I can't
So-
imagine. I can't imagine Insurrection being my introduction to the series. That has to be a horrible way to
Well,
be introduced to Star Trek.
Clearly it worked. It was good enough to make me interested in Star Trek. Because what I did,
Yeah,
I clearly
I'm
knew it was
shocked,
TNG because I
frankly.
saw Data. What I remember specifically is Data walking into the lake.
Data.
So I went and watched every single episode of TNG just to find that bloody scene because I kept seeing it. And then, of course, it never came up because it wasn't an episode. I watched the whole
interesting that
series
that-
Oh.
looking for Insurrection.
It's interesting that her face is able to be healed by that device. Yeah, it's a human skin sort of emulation, but the device is able to heal her.
Dermal regenerator can heal a synthetic skin.
Apparently, yes.
Maybe she's like a T100, a T800 model 101. She's covered in living skin, living tissue.
The point of
The
her
endoskeleton inside.
model is that she's as human as possible.
infiltration.
Like all her brothers and sisters are like Datas, but
Yeah.
she's
She's an
very
infiltration
human.
model. infiltration model.
She's Cylon V2, where Data's Cylon V1 from the pre-remaster.
Oh, so Data is the Chrome Cylon,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
she's the flesh Cylon.
Exactly.
Does that mean Data has a sweeping eye?
Who?
Data.
That is not his name.
Data.
His name is Data.
Data. Data. So he has a sweeping eye
One
somewhere?
is his name, the other is not.
Yes, they have a whole episode about that. Well, it's in the whole episode.
All right. So again, Data has a sweeping eye somewhere.
I
'Cause
assume
he's
he
a
has
Cylon?
like a LiDAR thing to sense his surroundings.
Hmm.
So in a sense, if that's true, he would have a lot of sweeping eyes.
So do you think that Geordi sees him like a beacon, just all these beams of infrared sweeping everywhere all the time?
We have seen how Geordi sees him, because in season 1, we get Geordi's visor being plugged into the view screen, and he looks at Data, and he's
Yeah, and
he has an aura.
glowing. But we never see that ever again.
Because it was dumb.
Yeah, okay, well.
Well, the aura was kind of dumb. It's also incredibly hard for the audience to see anything that's going on.
Mm.
That's the point. It's to show you what he sees. Okay, I'll be right back.
Mr. Data! What's up, man? I guess this is a reference because he was a painter in TNG. Sure.
Yeah.
I remember specifically he painted like 30 things of a crow's wing. A crow's wing, a crow in flight, a flock of crows. So one complaint people have had is that Data, and this isn't just for this show, this was for like Nemesis too, where Data was visibly older because Brent Spiner is a human.
Yeah.
But like, it's established very early in TNG that Data does have aging programs. Like, he does actually visibly age.
Mm.
He's built to wrinkle.
Geez, that would have been a really uncomfortable position to sleep in at that age.
He's going to be out of commission the rest of the day.
Old young Data.
Maybe the dog ate her.
This is a fully CG shot of San Francisco.
Starfleet Archives. What is that? It said Starfleet something something museum. What kind of museum is this? Rude. Okay, how many references are going to be in here? So that was one. That was the Stargazer.
Yep.
Worf and his dagger. 2, 3,
Enterprise E.
4, 5. That's a captain's yacht? 6.
Yeah.
I can't see this other stuff very clearly. Oh my god, I know it's the future. Could you guys not just have lids? It's a little excessive. That is not a TNG reference. What season was that?
Season 6.
Season 6 of TNG? Okay. How come we never saw it in season 6? Wow, that was actually really close to Law's death. That's kind of messed up, Data. Just replaced your daughter.
I think that's why they chose that year.
Offspring was season 3. So he painted this daughter
Okay.
3 years after his original daughter died. Okay, okay, Dodge. It should be extremely obvious that that's not a real person. Who picks up the phone less than a second after you dial? That's not how humans work. Clearly talking to a chatbot. He didn't even. Wait, how is it the image getting the back of her head? When it went around, we saw the back of the mom's head and her hair. How?
It's a 3D scan. The view screen has actually always been capable of doing that.
But I'm just wondering, does she have cameras behind her?
I'm not sure.
Oh, they were still doing the TNG style uniform, it looks like. A slight modification. She knows Kung Fu. No, Dash, you can't just diagnose yourself with medical conditions. You're being a real broccoli right now.
I can highly suspect.
I have an Android.
As do I.
Wow. Yeah, Patrick does actually look old now.
Yeah.
He's got all the liver spots. He's extra wrinkly. Bushy eyebrows. Maybe he painted Dodge's mom. She's activated. Just get a tricorder, man. Come on. We can display this easily.
Yeah.
Just get a nice scan going. I really feel like Picard is jumping to conclusions here. This is a big leap. You can't just tell someone they're a robot.
But at the same time, what else explains suddenly, well, other than being a secret agent, suddenly explains the ability to fight and track someone
The
as a
Romulans.
priority of Picard.
Romulan secret agent. She got Jordied. You are, in fact, not correct, Patrick. They're unrelated. Data did not build another daughter.
No, but at the same time, she is based on his net.
I don't quite understand why they're going to the roof.
Because they're running from them, and they shouldn't be able to teleport in Starfleet or on Starfleet ground. I think, if I remember rightly, it's explicitly stated that they shouldn't have been able to transport, and explained
Right.
later that that was because of the spy.
No, Dodge, don't take the knife, take the gun. Stop running at him. There's a gun right there. Dodge, no.
Also, yeah, you've got a very predictable trajectory when you jump.
I never saw Data do that.
Wow, almost like Black Widow.
Oh my god. It's a Romulan. Who could have seen this coming? It's always the Romulans, every single time. Okay, that's one main character dead. I appreciate that in that visual effect, they like peeled away the flesh of her skull at the same time during the explosion. Very fancy. It wasn't very gory, but it was a little detailed. Also, the Romulans maybe should have killed him too while they were there.
Yeah.
They've been trying to kill him his whole career. They finally have a good shot. That's fine. We have another one. We have a backup. And they don't know about each other, right? The two Sojis?
No, they
Or-
didn't know each other existed in their memory, so they do in their programming.
Oh, that's a reference to the season finale. I don't know that that's true, Patrick. Oh, this is, I believe, our first view of the Daystrom Institute. They talk about it a lot in TNG, so I guess this counts as a reference.
Yeah.
We've never seen
And it's
it.
in Asia.
Oh my god, there's a city that's other than Paris and San Francisco in my Star Trek? Why? Why? Would that be so much harder than a non-fleshy android? Surely all the internals can be the same. Oh, they have to be the same inside too. Okay. Ooh, those are some nice office chairs. They totally painted those for the show.
Yep.
This is also a terrible workspace. That's not true. No. Just making an android that looks fully human. That's easy. I mean, Dr.
Yeah.
Crusher did it with Data. She just altered his external features a bit. He looked fine.
How weird it must feel to have a younger version of you put into pieces.
Commander, Associate Chair of Robotics. Bruce, of course, kept in regular correspondence with Data. Data would send him letters and stuff. They were friends for a while. Just because Bruce tried to murder him one time, Data doesn't hold a grudge. Those are circles. Oh, there's a Starfleet branded mug. They're still going on with the branding. It's been another 40 years. It's an idea that doesn't even make sense, Girardi. Nope, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she exploded. Okay, that does make more sense than Data like had a prophecy. Maddox just like saw the painting and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go with that. That's good." What is that astronomical feature?
Yeah.
It's like two supernovas laid on top of each other. How do you do, antagonist?
Yeah.
If the show is trying, well, it's not trying to hide it, but if it were trying to hide the fact that he's evil, that would not be the way to do it. That was a villain walk if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
Does he have an earpiece?
She knows
Okay.
about the other one.
To the Borg, I assume. Did he work here?
The thing as well about Narek is he seems like the opposite of Ethan Peck.
They do look kind of similar, don't they? Oh my god, Narek, stop manipulating her. That's so mean. Bad Narek.
It's his job. And here comes the reveal.
I could see the Romans and the Borg getting along. They both have green color schemes. They're friends. Personally, though, I don't think this is a good idea. I feel like if you see a deactivated Borg cube, you should just destroy it as fast as possible. This feels very dangerous.
Yeah. I wonder if the Romulans ever been rational about technology.
When have the
Big
Romans
black
ever...
holes in their ships.
Yeah. Maybe they should not. Alright, next is Maps and Legends. Which... A legend is a part of a map. Is that a reference to how maps work, or is that a reference to, like, Picard being a legend? Or is it both?
I don't know. I don't remember the episode well enough.
I don't know what happens here. I assume they're gonna start dating. And
Yes.
Picard's gonna go try to track her down, but, like, the details of what that is, I don't know anymore.
Well, he goes to Starfleet and then gets sworn at.
Oh, yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, Maps and Legends. Once again, still the Amazon version. And Blur. Blur is good. No, stop it. I don't want a previously on Star Trek Picard.
Yes, we literally just watched this.
So anyway, how about that weather? How's the rain? Rain's pretty cool, am I right?
It's pretty rain here, and it's also just very cloudy and dark.
See, in her apartment she used a gun in close quarters. Why didn't she use a gun at range?
When they killed her?
Yeah. There were guns laying around all over the place because she kept beating up people who were wielding guns.
Yeah, if she'd used a gun, it would have saved her.
I guess it was so the story could happen.
So the story could be advanced, yeah.
Commander.
His name was Bruce. Doge.
No, because you see, Dodge isn't evil. I guess she's nothing anymore.
She is particles.
Yeah.
She's
Loads
dust.
of ships.
She's finely distributed.
Hey, if they had that thing, the hand thing that they get later on from the android colony, could they put her back together from dust?
So
Well,
we've
she's a
got an
machine.
official time for the difference between Prodigy and Picard now. 14 years.
Oh, we're
Good
going to be
morning,
getting this
classy
actor
people.
back in season 2 as evil Picard's slave robot.
Hmm.
Which one?
The android.
Oh, okay.
Him. You named him Quicksave? A stick. Don't be. This is why they turned on you. Why are you being so mean to the robots?
Because they had it coming, man.
That is
I
clearly
like how they
a
use
3D
an
printer.
actual
3D
3D printer. Yeah.
We all had the exact same thought at the exact same time.
You know, so I'm glad that that didn't persist through the rest of Picard. That they're like, oh yeah, it's actually really stupid to use a 3D printer as a replicator because everyone knows what a 3D printer looks like.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it
it's
made
just dumb.
sense from a perspective as a 3D printer.
It makes
does a
sense from the
similar
perspective
thing.
of someone who doesn't know anything about Star Trek, and that they operate on completely different principles.
Hmm.
What?
No, maybe we should
An
have told a better
FDM
joke.
3D printer?
No, yeah, I know what a 3D printer does. It saves a lot. But
All right.
A replicator is just an extension on the physical 3D
Yeah.
printer.
On the concept, but not the technology or execution. If I had a 3D printer that could 3D print me perfectly medium rare Wagyu ribeye, I would be printing Wagyu ribeyes all day, every day.
well, I wouldn't be able to do that because Star Trek can't do that.
What's that?
Can't do that in Star Trek either.
Quick save,
It
no.
would have to be perfect. Quick save.
Yeah, his name is F8.
That's quick load in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, some games, I think Warcraft 3 uses F4 or F5 for quick save. People can't be consistent about it.
And just rebind it to whatever you want. And then it is
I have a
consistent.
complaint about video game hotkeys. Every single game that has dialogue, the skip dialogue option is the same button as the select dialogue option. Why? They could be different buttons.
Mm.
Just get screwed over by it. Especially when it's like an alien in Knights of the Old Republic, where you can't tell when they're about to hit the end of their sentence because it's all gibberish anyway.
Yeah.
Try to skip it, you end up stabbing someone because you selected the I'm gonna murder you option.
If you just lift your head towards the camera for us, Patrick Stewart. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Patrick. He is your emperor, Uriel Septim. By the grace of the gods he serves Tamriel as her ruler.
And Michael Chabon writing this as well.
Oh, nice that we got security camera footage. We don't get to use her neurons to reconstitute her. Tal Shiar 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about... The Tal Shiar are already the secret police. Do we need an extra secret police?
Yes.
A super secret police.
Extra secret.
Just as the humans have Section 32.
Wouldn't it be Section 30? Because it's older, so it's...
Sure. Yes. Can it? I mean, it's not... They're really bigging it up, but it's just the Reapers. Like, we've all played Mass Effect. It's not that big.
Yeah.
Deal. I think we can handle it. Why? Robots.
Sexy, sexy robots.
Does this make sense? This doesn't feel
Nope.
physically possible.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is.
If you knew the exact arrangement of the atoms and how they bounced off each other as people moved around and spoke, and you knew exactly how long ago it was.
Rewind it. You rewind all the movement of all the particles in the room.
I mean, I suppose it'd be possible to reconstruct that they were A, in that location, and B, if you had really, really incredibly good predictive algorithms, the ability to determine what sound waves were present in the room.
Now, if you knew the exact position and velocity of every particle in the universe, you could recreate anything you want.
Exactly.
Kind of, sort of.
Is it feasible that they'd be able to do it even in the 24th century, 25th century? No.
You'd have, well, they have Heisenberg compensators, so yes, it is.
Yeah, they work very well.
Well, you have a point. You got me there.
I was about to say no, it isn't. Then I realized, oh wait, they have Heisenberg compensators. It's literally canon that they deal with that.
Is that another 3D printer behind her?
Maybe. Jatvash.
I think the Jatvash infiltrated BioWare to get them to stop making Mass Effect games because the plot of the Reapers was too close to their secret mission. The Romans are spacefaring by this point in our history. They could be here among us. Aren't they actually making a Mass Effect 4 now, though?
Yes.
Is it going to be good?
Don't know.
Why not? Why
I
not
think
just measure the particles, man? Tell me, is
I think they stopped development on it temporarily to do Veiled Guard, and then yeah, we don't know what's going on with it at the moment.
okay. Copies, because, robots.
Yeah.
Robots.
These two bounty paper towels are twins. Closer than twins. Yeah, they came out of the same production line. Oh, you can tell which one is which because they have different hairstyles. That's what they did. Soji keeps her hair more up. That doesn't really narrow it down, lady.
No, it makes it even
That's way
wider.
worse. She could be anywhere in the Federation. Or outside the Federation, apparently.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's a big space.
We heard you like the Federation.
They're sleeping together already, aren't they?
Yeah.
The tone of her voice sounds like they're in bed together. Oh yeah, they are. For sure. Oh Jesus, what's that alien? Who are you? Yes, they are. Wait, what's this? What's this stuffed animal? Who's that? Is that yours, Narek?
That's
Whose
her.
room
That's
is
her
this?
Plushmallow. Plushmallow's in the 25th century. Star Trek predicted it.
Yes, kill her, Narek. Soji, be careful. You could literally crush him. You're made of titanium. Wait, is she made of titanium? Wait, how do these robots work? They're fleshy, but they also have robot powers.
Well, Data is fleshy, and he still has robot powers.
Data's not fleshy. Data's made of cortonite and duranium and weighs like 3 tons.
But he's still fleshy, like his skin is.
I'm just thinking if she, like Data has sort of a squishy exterior, but inside he's all metal and he weighs a lot. So I was just wondering if she would like kill him when she laid on top of him like that.
Hmm.
Overseer. I assume he said, "Can you keep a secret?"
Hmm.
But, you know, in Romulan. I remember people being upset that this wasn't Dr. Crusher. I guess Dr. Crusher's busy being a vigilante with her criminal son.
Yep. But I remember Crusher in Prodigy mentioned that she was having a kid. Was he born or was he not in that episode?
What? Hang on, say again? What?
In Prodigy, Crusher said to Wesley that she had a kid. I'm not sure if she said he was born or not.
I don't know. I would think he would. I think he would have been like a baby, maybe like 2 or 3, a toddler. Because that was just before the Mars attack. And it hasn't been that long
Yeah.
since the Mars attack.
Mars Attacks. We should watch that movie.
It's the worst sound I've ever heard.
That's how they communicate, friend.
Not your friend, pal. And then you say, I'm not your pal.
I'm not your
Something.
pal, buddy. I'm not
I'm
your
not your...
putty guy.
We nailed it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Are you asking him to falsify your medical records?
Yeah, something like that.
Stargazer? I don't think that counts as a reference, because we didn't actually see him on the Stargazer.
It's sort of reference to what we were told in TNG that he was on the Stargazer.
I
And then
guess.
we did see the ship, if I remember rightly.
Stargazer 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
You can
Why
tell
would...
it's CG just because of the bridge struts.
Also because San Francisco doesn't look like that?
Yeah, but my point was that you could be a CG re-rendering of edit of an actual shot, but the bridge struts and that really just don't look real.
Why are we playing the TNG theme? Nothing TNG related is happening right now. Now it is, but
He's
now the
returning
song's
to
faded
Starfleet.
out.
That's the Strange New Worlds Enterprise.
Alright, so I added 2 to references, 1 for the TNG theme, 1 for the Galaxy class. Okay, yeah, you need to say that, man. You can't just stare at people coming in. They don't know your procedures. See, this is my problem with Jean-Luc Picard in this era. He he feels like it seems like he feels he's important. He thinks of himself as critical to Starfleet and the Federation. He's just a guy. Even Q told him he's not that important. Does he have a soul? Well, not anymore, I guess. Oh, she has fidget toys on her desk. That little pile of balls. I'm pretty sure those are magnetic. You can get those on Amazon. Yeah, he's being very presumptuous here.
Yep.
You can't just ask for a starship. Really? Jean-Luc? Do you remember all those species that you chose to let die in TNG? Remember the one where Worf's brother was begging you to save them and you refused?
He didn't choose that. He just chose not to interfere.
When he could have saved them.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
And
Honestly,
he
I'm
also
with her.
shows his He also shows his character here that rather than go straight to Michelle Hur's character, he goes there and then goes to Michelle Hur's character going, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you help me?"
Ah, they're not familiar with zippers in the future.
They're used to auto clasping clothes. Didn't the TNG uniforms, the wool ones, have a zipper in the back? Or was that the polyester spandex ones?
I don't know, man. I
One of
remember
them had
we
a
saw
zipper in the front,
Ensign
one of them
Rowe
had a zipper in the
unzip the
back.
front once.
Then maybe the wool had the zipper in the front. I don't know. It's just either way, they seem very not functional. The Enterprise uniforms
10
seemed
out
a
of
lot
10.
more like
Yeah.
based on like Air Force BDUs or something, like jumpsuits.
Also, that,
I don't know.
that sign was like, what, 13 years without an assimilation? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13 years without a
15
workplace
years.
accident.
Oh, no. I hate that haircut. I hope he dies. No, Soji, you're literally on a Borg cube. These are space zombies. You need to take this seriously.
So I think Data's LOL episode was probably like the most emotional for his character. And then like in Data's Day we get an insight for the character. But there's even that scene where that admiral was like, you wouldn't believe how fast his hands were moving, like he was trying to save his own child. But obviously he's projecting, right? Because there's no way Data has like feelings. Like that.
Tasha was like, I can believe it.
So, I like that they brought Soji into that LOL subplot. It was pretty sad when LOL died.
Strictly speaking, Data was more emotional at having a drink he didn't like than at Law's death.
Yeah.
Physically incapable of feeling sad about her.
Right. And one cool thing was, though, he did keep some of her positronic net and incorporate it into himself. Because remember, she had emotions and he couldn't have emotions. So she was like, Father, I'll love you for the both of us. Which is
For the
another
next
tear
5 minutes.
No shit, Picard, you're in science fiction.
Picard S01 and S02 is embarrassing.
You're embarrassing. People really need to chill. Like if you look at the comments of the last intake I did, which was of Picard, oh my god, people need to relax. It's just a TV show.
What was the comments?
Just lots and lots of hatred.
For Picard?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just a TV show. It's not that big a deal. You don't have to watch
I don't.
it.
Yeah, I'm not like frothing at the mouth or anything. It's just, it's bad. I think a lot of the.
Possible.
A lot
Do you
of
know
the
how much I've thought about Section 31 since we watched it?
S03 is a gem, though.
Not at all. Season 3, I'm still not a fan of Picard. But yeah, to your point, yeah, I don't even think about Section 31 or any of the content I don't really like.
Yeah.
Some people think about it a lot.
My thing is, it wasn't supposed to be season 8 of TNG, but that's what it wound up being. And I'm not complaining.
I don't even think it was season 8 of TNG.
It was. I think season 3 was definitely season 8.
I think they were trying to make
it
be season
kind of
8 of TNG.
I think it kind of ruins the end of TNG.
Look, we're gonna go with Data's gut, okay?
What is
Because I
Data's
suffered
guts
through it.
made out of?
I don't know, that line. I feel like they definitely, like, even this Japanese teapot over here. Really nice details.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you don't like a plot of a show, if you could try to appreciate the production design.
The props team on Picard are really good. And a lot of it was like, hey, can we put in this detail from TNG? Just this little thing we want to put in. And like, yeah. They just,
like their
just put it
obsession
all
with
in.
branding. Starfleet's obsession. I really liked the uniforms that we saw people walking around in outside of Starfleet, where they were a clear evolution of the TNG uniforms. Which I guess they sort of reverted to, because the DS9 uniforms were completely different, but whatever.
Yeah.
You mean the
Essentially,
first
the
contact
only
uniforms?
show, or whatever I've started.
So was that were the gray uniforms first? Sorry.
That's right. I was just saying that this is the only one I don't like, and I just don't think about it. As you were saying, it's just like whatever.
Was
those are
a gray
terrible masks.
Were the gray uniforms first on Deep Space Nine or First Contact?
They were first on DS9 because Jonathan Frakes had to wear Cisco's uniform.
No, that was Generations, and that was the red on top, black on bottom uniform. Okay. And Geordi wore Colm Meaney's uniform, No, that's different. That was the Voyager Deep Space Nine early uniforms.
Okay,
But
so
then the
these masks I want to point
They
out,
were
I
in
really have a
first
problem with them.
contact
The fact
first.
that they're so see-through, I don't think those are going to stop anything. Those are that is a wide mesh.
Yeah, I remember reading
it's space
Yeah.
mesh.
It's
Star
just
Trek Communicator.
The
it's just
holes are
here so
so
you can
fine
see
it
the
looks
actors'
transparent.
faces.
Right.
But I really don't believe that those would stop a nanoprobe or a
It's so
pathogen.
fine that you can see through it.
It's more like laced
I don't buy
underwear, you know, than. What I've seen was I remember the Star Trek Communicator magazine, 1996. Someone wrote in saying, "Is DS9 ever going to get the first contact uniforms?" And then the answer was they've been using it since January. So, but First Contact had it first. I was alive at the time, you know.
Oh,
You
a little bit.
were.
Another little bit of trivia about the masks. So
Mhm.
we're all aware of the importance of masks these days. This
Yeah.
Mhm.
episode came out in January of 2020.
3 months before everything hit the fan.
Right on time.
Oh,
We had no
there we
idea.
go. That's his TNG badge.
That's
Does it
a
still work?
DS9 badge.
Picard,
No,
did you charge
it
the
doesn't.
battery on that first? Did you have to like plug it in for a couple hours, or how do you know if
I
she's
need
not
Yeah,
answering you or if it's just not working?
It did make a noise when he touched it.
I guess.
the familiar noise.
There is no
Okay.
detail into the metal on those shirts whatsoever. I know this is the third time I've talked about it, but
The Hermit of Labar. This show needs to stop making me laugh. By the way, there was a TNG episode where they used a Romulan defector who was really a Vulcan ambassador. So there's no reason for this plot to have happened.
You mean a Vulcan ambassador who was actually a Romulan spy,
Right.
as opposed to the
Defector. probe.
messenger who was previously a human defector to Romulus?
Oh, that's
Oh.
the really awkward guy. That's Spock sent back. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was really weird.
Like there has to
I'm-
be some genetic markers that define Vulcans and Romulans at this point. There's no way.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no way.
Sure. It's been what, 1,000+ years? Over
5.
1,000 years?
5,000 years.
5 years.
Okay.
5,000 years.
You know, 5,000 years is not a lot of time genetically. Actually, let me take that back. So, I think the actor also who plays Soji, she had to
Isa?
do the head tilt. Thank you. She had to do the head tilt that Brent Spiner does.
Does anyone else here
And
do that, or is it just me? I don't know if I got it for Brent or from dogs though.
um,
Just me? Okay.
I would say indubitably
Indubitably.
to my classmates in 7th grade.
She's my favorite. She's right.
I do love Laris.
We can have drones do the taking care of the grapes.
Maybe.
I'm gonna
my
count that
favorite
as one reference, just listing off some TNG characters.
Yeah.
Good gravy.
You know, the whole Labar, France. So when Picard's being tortured by Gul Madred in Chain of Command Part 1 and 2, it's like, where are you from? Labar, France. I think that's when it's established. It might have been in Family, which is right after First Contact, which is right after Best of Both Worlds. But in Picard season 3, there's a changeling threat. So like, how do I know you're really Picard? He's like, you once sent me a case of Chateau Picard, and you told me it was a bit dry for my
Slurps Aster.
taste.
Commodore O.
Commodore
Commodore
O.
O.
And then this character was wearing the shade memes, like the sunglasses that they literally have in the shady meme, where you wear shady sunglasses to own your opponents.
I feel really weird looking at this lady on the left with her normal human ears because I'm so used to seeing her as a Romulan. It doesn't feel right.
Oh
Put
yeah,
your
she
ears
was in
back
other
on.
shows.
She's in this show later on.
Mhm. She looks like she does play Vulcans in Voyager though. So I like the uniform here for Starfleet Command. Nice woven mesh on top, and the comm badge is really
Yeah,
jazzy.
it's the same. It's almost the same as the TNG uniform,
Yeah,
except it's more textured.
they created a cutout notch at the
Yeah, I
collarbone.
remember Column had that cut out in DS9.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Hmm.
right.
So they're merging some features here.
But they left the little neck open so you could breathe. Pretty sure TNG cast would have loved that, or First Contact too. Like First Contact was a movie uniform. It was way too constricting for a TV set. It was like 2 layers of wool. Also, I really like that they used the Bruce Maddox subplot. They could have forgotten about it, and then they also incorporated the what was the Institute Daystrom Institute from TOS, because that was
I'm
the
surprised it's
Federation's.
still called the Daystrom Institute after the last thing he did before he died
Yeah.
was get a bunch of people killed by making killer starships.
Yeah.
Possibly, but he did invent the Lucaris subsystem, so
Of Vasquez
Oh, here
Rocks,
we-
that
Yeah.
it's not strictly a TNG reference. It's more just Star Trek in general.
yeah, that's right where Kirk fought the Mongol.
The Gorn on
Mongol.
Cestus 3.
Yeah,
This is also all of Vulcan.
right.
At least in 2009 it was.
Yeah.
TOS was definitely there too.
Why are you on my property?
This is a great introduction for the character.
87. Is it the 87?
I was
Because that
born
would
in
be a TNG
86.
reference.
Well, they're talking 2286, not 19.
No, but remember when Picard went home after being assimilated, he and his brother were talking about wine, and Picard went, "Oh, is this the 86?"
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, it's the 87." I guess that still
Nice.
counts as a reference because it's the 86, but
It is. It is.
God, she doesn't look right as a human. I know she is a human in real life, but it doesn't look right.
There's a certain haircut that Vulcans and Romulans are supposed to have.
She's very angular.
Almost like Judge Admiral Sati. She had a very Vulcan face also.
Yeah. And her ears are very pointy from the front.
Plus her hair wrapped in a bun makes the rest of her face look more angular. I also I want to commend you guys for the Section 31 watch along. The four of you were not all haters. And I was kind of expecting that, like if you really don't want to say anything good about this, you could have. A lot of constructive criticism. I liked it. So same here. I really like this AI subplot where like all the mythology of the past is trying to say, "Hey, fools, don't invent a machine intelligence that can destroy you." Hint, hint. Very original,
We've
almost.
what was that last part sarcastic? Like, I'm not saying I dislike this plot, but it's not original.
Okay, it's not. Yes, Terminator.
It's every
Terminator
sci-fi show
Genesis,
ever. Killer robots.
Asimov's AI.
All right. So, last episode for today. The end is the beginning. Which I don't really know what that means exactly. I don't know if it means anything, but it'll probably make sense in context. I don't remember what happens in this episode. Dr. Raffi. Oh, we get to meet an old beloved character. Third of 5, everybody's favorite.
Uh-oh. Do we get to see someone have their eyeball gouged out?
No.
No, that's later.
Okay.
I think that might be next week.
Viewer discretion is advised.
It's not that bad. I feel like people's reactions to it are a bit over top. It's not that gory. I've seen way worse.
Yeah, it's not that gory, but it was unexpected for a Star Trek show.
I suppose. Unless it's TNG Season 1. Alright.
The Borger body.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. The Borg.
The Borg is body horror, period. Like that whole first contact scene where everybody's getting chopped up. Nobody will ever be able to outdo that level of yuck.
Oh, I need to adjust the subtitle timings.
Yeah.
Hang on. I need plus 5,000 milliseconds. There we go.
People didn't like the Vulcan accent, the Irish accent. The Vulcan?
That's just the northern Romulan accent.
No, she is half Irish though.
Yeah.
The character.
Is that
Hmm.
true? How would she be half Irish? She's a Romulan. What do you mean?
Well, Vulcans can have kids with humans.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but she's Romulan,
Stop
and they
being-
didn't really hang out.
Stop being ignorant, Ryan.
Where did was she already on Earth in Ireland? Did a human Irish person go to Romulus?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How is she half Irish? We weren't friends.
Look, the same way Picard's British, even though he's French.
I'm really surprised that they actually tried to explain that in lore. Instead of just being, yeah, don't worry about it.
That Picard's mom song is so cliche. I don't know if it was always cliche, but it's really cliche in France now. Like they play it all the time.
Mm.
How often do you go to France?
I don't know. I was just watching like a French festival meme, and they were all like singing and laughing
14
about
years
that
ago.
song.
2385 was 14 years ago, so the show is taking place in 2399.
2399.
Okay, yeah, we're about to end the 24th century. I want to say I love Starfleet Academy. They used really good use of space. It's gonna be tall, and we never got that in the show.
I need to go to that botanical garden / water treatment facility that Starfleet Academy is.
Also, the planet where Wesley gets almost executed by lethal injection.
Yeah. Oh, they
cute
did make him look
uniforms.
a little younger here. They smoothed out his wrinkles a bit. They covered up some of the
Yeah.
liver spots.
Yeah, it's the 14 years ago thing. Like Rafi's a good Starfleet officer. This must have been a long time ago. But again, this is an improvement on the uniform we saw a minute ago in Admiral O's office. I like it has a few more notches, almost like season 1 TNG.
The stripes on the shoulders, I'm not sure about that.
Season 1 had it, you know? The thin little red stripes.
Also, JL, I can answer that question. It's because they're the worst.
Yeah.
They've gotten really good at de-aging people. I remember when they did it in X-Men to both Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, it wasn't that great. They still looked really old. Like when Jean Grey rips them both apart. Love Rafi's hair.
It was always unfeasible. You can't evacuate a whole planet. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
True.
I cannot imagine how many ships it would take to evacuate 8 billion people from Earth.
I think it was supposed to be like Dunkirk, where like your back is up against the wall. You're using like the civilian fleet that you have rather than the military fleet that you should have.
Yes, and Picard made that comparison in episode 1.
Thank you. Did you guys see Dunkirk with
No, I
directed by
wasn't
Chris
born at the
Nolan?
time. It was a while ago.
Directed by Chris Nolan and starring Cillian Murphy. It was an IMAX film, so it was really cool to see in like giant scale. The
Okay, I did some math. To evacuate 8 billion people, the Enterprise D, the Galaxy class, the largest ship they have, can hold 15,000. So you would need 530,000 trips of a Galaxy-sized ship, or how
No,
many ships do they have?
minor correction though. Enterprise D, if it's used for like evacuation purposes, can hold 30,000 people. That like it has an extra capacity if you really want to cram people in.
That's not what Google told me.
Yeah, no, the actual crew capacity might be 15,000, but it can
It
be
says
used for.
Memory Alpha says crew complement 1,000 to 6,000 or 15,000 maximum capacity. I guess
Okay.
you could probably cram them in if you really had to. So sure, let's say 30,000.
Okay. Thanks.
So you would still need about 270,000 trips of a Galaxy-sized ship. So how many ships do they have that they're going to evacuate the planet?
We'll find out season 3.
How big is the Starfleet?
Say it's about 2,000 ships.
As a direct result of this, Raffi gets recommissioned.
Love the intro
Yes, it is.
because your memory is really more like a shard of memories in a whole context. So it's kind of cute.
I wish we
Santiago
had
Cabrera.
memories more like a computer, where it doesn't just like go away and fade away. And get the worst thing about our memory is the fact that each time you think about it, it adjusts a little bit.
Right. We
Like,
think
that's
it's
so
reliable, but
unhelpful.
it's being grafted onto other memories, and you can actually have a false recollection.
God,
So.
Are you all on board with understanding the weakness of flesh? Does it disgust you?
I'm getting there.
Not to get sore joints.
Yeah. No, I saw this YouTube short of a lady who's taking care of her mom with Alzheimer's, and the lady's trying to go to work, and she has to lie to her mom and say, "Hey, your boss called today saying there was a gas leak. Don't come in." So it's like you can't remember your own kid's name, but you think you have to go to work, and you retired 20 years ago. It's kind of scary. I mean, so they do that to the Picard character at the TNG finale. You know, your
Excuse
Irumata
me, he
syndrome.
wasn't crazy. He wasn't forgetting.
That was your Irumata syndrome. It's like, no, Will, we can't. We have to save humanity.
It is actually at Vasquez
Oh my
Rocks.
Oh, she
gosh.
lives in the Vasquez Rocks.
Is that
Thanks.
legal?
Thank
Can you
Phil.
do that, Rafi?
No, you can't live in that San Francisco Bay Bridge area either, where they built Starfleet Academy.
Okay, I need to add this to my pilgrimage list. So I need to go to that botanical garden
Bo-
/ water reclamation. I need to go to the Vasquez Rocks. Where else
Bozeman,
do I need to
Montana.
go? But there's nothing in Bozeman.
There's a titanium missile silo.
But they didn't actually film in Bozeman, Montana. It's not.
Okay. I think I just saw the Lower Decks episode though, where they
It's a
show the
theme park.
Bozeman, Montana. Yeah, the theme park. So it is going to be that commercialized. So go before they ruin it, Ryan. We ruin it more accurately. No, but Vasquez Rocks would be so cool.
Rafa, you
Just-
can't vape in the future.
That was surprising to me. I think we could have done without that. It brings me too much to contemporary time to see a character vaping.
I'm fine with her using drugs because humans have used drugs forever.
Mm-hmm.
My only concern is that looks exactly like a modern vape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glue some bits
you would-
onto it, make it look fancy.
Just hyper spray yourself with fentanyl. Let me shut up.
Yeah, don't. The Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially does not endorse hypo spraying yourself with fentanyl. Or hypo spraying other people with fentanyl.
Yeah, just
Unless you're a
about to
doctor.
do that.
Dr. Crusher can do that.
I really love this scene because the character grows on you. You see their connection with Picard, even though it's only their second scene. And I don't know, like you kind of have a soft spot for the drug addict, like he does. Like a good comrade is a good comrade, you know. Like it doesn't matter if they have a little substance abuse problem. Her estranged son was a good subplot.
Yeah, not a
You know,
very good friend, JL.
The U.S. is going through an opioid crisis between the last Star Trek show and this show, so.
Very spooky music, appropriate to the setting. Lovely. Man, they really like these fly-throughs. Every single time we get the Borg cube.
Yeah, we never got that in TNG.
Yeah, we just got to thoroughly establish what's going on.
Yeah, we got exactly one fly-through in the movie in First Contact.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, no. It's just a matte painting, and we're gonna focus right on it.
Right.
Hugh.
Yep.
3rd of 5.
See, this was something a series should do, right? You got to pick up on those characters that you really wish you could follow up on, and Hugh was definitely at the top of that list. Because remember, Geordi named him. Remember, it's a pun on you.
Yes.
So
Not
bad.
you. Hugh.
Almost as bad as like B4 and Data Lore. B9.
R2D2.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh, that sounds evil. Why what are you doing?
Yes.
I thought you were cool, man.
I have returned with food.
Cool.
Is that Hugh?
That's
Yeah,
you.
that's you.
No, Hugh.
This was the guy that Admiral Nechayev shows up to tell Picard, the next time you get an opportunity to destroy the Borg, you will take it.
We could still show it to him.
Are you rinsing off the food that you just got from a restaurant? What is happening?
I'm washing my hands before I eat. Sorry. So NVIDIA Broadcast had an update, and the new version of NVIDIA Broadcast is trash. So I just turn it off. I should just uninstall the new one and reinstall the old one. Like it uses like 60% of the GPU, and I think
Yeah.
I think they did it on purpose to screw with people with previous generations.
I bet it works
got
very
enough
well
right
when you
now,
have
yeah.
the new type of core on the 50s.
Well, I also don't want my house to burn down.
Why not? Are you not insured?
Uh,
Think of the cash.
I have things that are irreplaceable though, so like they can give me cash, but I'll never be able to buy another one. So I would rather have.
Well, you keep a backup of your irreplaceable possessions in an offsite location.
Well, how do you have a backup of something that's singularly irreplaceable?
Use your 3D
Replicators.
printer. Yeah.
Well, if I have replicators, then it's not singularly irreplaceable. Anyway.
Okay, you got to use some different form of noise canceling if you're going to be eating on stream.
All right.
I can hear the rappers.
Hold on. I'll check to make sure that the like normal noise canceling is built in or turned on.
Or like push to talk.
All
So
right.
what-
I've turned on the default noise cancellation in
Okay.
Discord, so maybe that'll help. Let me know. And if it doesn't, I'll keep trying different things, or I'll just mute my microphone. Can you hear that?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, great. Then we're good.
So when
You might hear it when I'm talking.
Picard was standing in front of the Vasquez rocks, I had a flashback to the Darmok episode. And
Was Darmok at Vasquez?
No, it was in a quarry.
How about the
feel like
one?
I feel like the
How
core
about
is
the
on the
Gorn
other
fight?
side. But okay.
They should just have Picard fight a
But-
Gorn.
All that like weedy grassland. Really nice. Oh yeah, DS9 is definitely set here too. When the Defiant crashes and they're fighting the Jem'Hadar.
I just don't think that's
no, that was
true.
not-
I don't think that's at the Vasquez Rocks. That's in
Sorry, that's
that's
a
in
quarry.
northern
That's-
LA.
That's another quarry.
And here we go.
I think it's the same quarry,
Set up
but
for
Yeah.
later.
Uh-oh. Tell me who's the
Commodore?
bad guy without telling me who's the bad guy.
Oh, they've already explicitly stated she's the bad guy.
Okay.
guys, are we concerned about the fact that pieces of the wall are still moving? I don't think we should be here. I really think we should just destroy
What's-
the cube.
What species was Hugh before he was assimilated?
Human. He's just a guy.
It's a good question because there weren't that many humans in the Borg.
Mm-mm. At that point, the Borg had never assimilated any humans.
Other than
7 of
Anakin
9.
himself.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, see, that was retconned, right? After First Contact, all that was retconned.
I mean, First Contact itself was a whole retconning, so
Is it? I'm just curious what species
It's never
he
been
was.
stated on screen if he's anything other than human.
Yeah.
Right. So we just have to assume that
He
he's
could have
looks
been
human
he
to
is
one of
me.
those planets.
human, or he's some species indistinguishable from humans.
Right. Like in TOS, all those planets that were from back in time.
It could be the Strange Universe in season 2 engineers species.
Well, like his resume, he just worked there.
So she's going off like the Ensign Row arc. She's not half as bad as everyone says she is, but she's totally discredited in Starfleet.
So La Serena, there is
Woo!
people have like given it Starfleet style paint jobs to make it
Mhm.
look more like what they would
nostalgic.
expect.
Mhm.
With its default paint job, it's really hard to see that it does actually have like the cylindrical nacelles on the side.
Mhm.
It's very pointy how it looks right now.
This is another brilliant introduction to the character. We don't get a lot of swashbuckling pirates.
I don't know. I feel like this might be trying too hard to make him seem cool.
Badass.
It's a little much. Oh, come on.
Well, if he really wants to look cool, he should just rip it out and use a phaser to cauterize the wound.
Although, medically though, you should leave it in there until a doctor looks at it.
Well, that's what the Doctor is doing.
Yes.
Why are you playing the TNG theme again? This isn't TNG. Stop it.
He's on a ship
Because
again.
he's going to the
He's looking at the
captain's chair.
captain's chair, yeah, but
Look, they're milking us for nostalgia. That's why it's playing it over again.
does it
But
count as
I wanna
multiple
s-
references if they do the same thing repeatedly?
Yes.
Like, I like how the closing credits, they didn't even bother coming up with a closing credits song. Like, go listen to the TNG music. That's what you all showed up for. Go look at a 3D Lacars panel. But
No, Chris,
so,
that's
I
just
remember,
irresponsible. Let it dermal regenerate you. What are you doing? You're just being dumb.
yeah. I like how we needed a private sector ship for this show. I think that was one of Patrick Stewart's stipulations. He didn't want to be on the bridge of a Starfleet vessel again
No
because
uniforms was one of his stipulations.
yeah,
Chris,
which
no,
makes
you need to wash your shoulder before you but you're getting blood all over your sweater. Chris,
Yeah.
this isn't cool. This is irresponsible.
I mean, that's why he threw the gin over his shoulder, just because he doesn't need that anesthesia stuff.
If this were Trek culture, I would give that a down.
No, I mean, fun fact, like before modern times, you know, a pint of liquor was what you needed for your anesthesia and for your disinfecting of the wound.
I would give the show an up for the name the Ibn Majid. It's nice to have
Yeah,
like non-European names in Starfleet.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I think he was an astronomer from the Middle Ages. He named like a lot of stars.
Also, was it illegal for Picard to send this to Rafi? This feels confidential.
Probably.
Yeah, highly illegal.
In the
Especially as
future,
she's
they
like,
wouldn't care about privacy.
especially as she's continuing to self-medicate. You know.
Crypto algorithm. That I know they mean cryptographic, but I just feel like it's cryptocurrency.
Funny.
Especially that she's connecting to Free Cloud, which is, it's the crypto capital.
So, you're saying a former Starfleet admiral stole confidential documents and shared them with someone?
They would never.
Well, at least it's better than Cisco, who fabricated a hollow program and put it on the linear ship and then blew up the Romulan ambassador.
What, are you here worrying about the finer points of morality? People are dying out there. Every day.
True. You didn't have to delete the whole log, though. That means you're just
No,
being
he
shady.
definitely should have. He should never have put that in the system in the first place. That was, like Rios, that was very irresponsible. You don't record a confession like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the idea is like, you know how writing a diary helps get your thoughts down? So a captain does, or an officer does need to keep a personal log and an official log to help keep their...
This is definitely a better Irish accent than Section 31. But I don't remember what Sean thought about it.
Well, after this stream, you should go watch his video on this episode. He will almost certainly comment on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I counted one TNG reference there for saying he worked with a great Spock. The only other thing I caught was that he just referenced the Enterprise D and E.
Use
So I guess
arbiter succession of the Klingon Empire.
Okay, so that's going to be another 2.
So cigars are considered
I've
manly,
Yeah.
but it is interesting to see how like the
Why?
tobacco leaf has a really beautiful taste.
Outer Succession.
Well, it's like
and the Borg
wine or
invasion. Okay.
it's like wine or cheese. You
so,
know.
so this
Sounds like lung
actor
cancer
who
to me.
plays Rios,
Yeah.
I bet you like on his little resume or whatever, he said, "Look, I can do these different dialects. I can do these different accents." And someone was looking at there like, "How can we find a way to use that?" They're like, "Oh, we'll create all these different versions of him with different accents to represent different aspects of the ship." And then like when they pitched it to him, he was like, "Yeah, great, totally, let's do it." And then he actually had to do the accents.
I really because
Frantically
we had
Googling Irish voiceovers.
Right.
He did fine. He did fine.
He did a great job, especially of appearing as a different character because we see the the medical hologram first, so you think that is the guy.
Ryan, it would be fine if this was 1989 and it was Next Generation. But these are like $20 million an episode.
So if you remember in Voyager, right, when 1999, the Robert Picardo, he did the emergency command
Same
hologram.
person.
Yeah. So we I like the use of tarot cards, by the way, because like you would never get that in a sci-fi show. So you needed to add this like element of mysticism. Like she's crazy, but she's also like intuitive.
You're crazy.
Crazy
Also-
about Star Trek.
I tried a food truck yesterday and I got birria tacos. And you had to pay extra for the consomme on the side. You had an option. You could either get it with beans and rice or consomme. So the consomme on the side was $2.99. Beans on the side were $2.99. Rice on the side was $2.99.
We don't need the full menu. Come on.
So I bought it with the beans and rice, and then bought the consomme on the side and saved $3. And to my surprise, the consomme cup was filled with birria meat, so it was like a whole extra serving of birria in the consomme cup, which is delicious.
Is he gonna
And if
bludgeon
you haven't
around?
had
Yes, he
birria,
is.
I highly recommend it.
Oh, we're on Earth now.
Yes,
just
we're
so
back
used to
in
this being
Chateau
holiday.
Picard. See, she
Okay,
knows to
okay.
use a gun.
Yeah. This is pretty
Also,
wild.
this-
I don't remember an attack on the Admiral's home.
I noticed that Picard is still using a cane. He used it in episode 1 as well, but that sort of just goes away.
Yeah, totally.
I guess when he's like feeling
cane?
alive and himself again when he goes out into space.
He didn't have it when he
It's
was on the
like-
bridge of the ship.
It's
either.
like Charlie's grandpa in Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory.
Oh god.
He's all like frail and stuff, and then when Charlie gets the golden ticket, he's jumping up
Chocolate?
and dancing and flying through the air.
Chocolate?
They've got guns
Picard-
everywhere in this room.
Picard
Yeah.
gets his golden ticket back to space.
Who has more guns? Confederate General Picard or Admiral Picard? There's a lot here.
Confederate general.
Well, yeah, that's strictly accurate. He was a general in the
Whoa.
Earth Confederacy.
Space Confederacy.
Dr. Girardi used a gun on a person? No way.
Well done, Girardi.
Her first kill. The first.
But not her
kill.
last this season, for sure.
Yeah.
She probably has the highest kill count of any character in the show. Thinking about it. Because when she goes, season 2 and she's just killing people left and right.
Does that count, though? She was sort of...
She also saved
Mind
like
wiped a bit.
humanity. Yeah.
I
I
think
don't
it
know. I feel like if you're
counts.
gonna count someone's kill count, you should count their net positive
She
to
did
humanity
it.
as well. If any. Usually there's
Oh
none.
boy! Oh boy! Here it comes! Here it comes! Gonna tell us about how we got jet engines and liquid rockets and satellites and
Volkswagens and Autobahns.
and gyroscopically stabilized, yeah, and highways and
Maybe
No,
we should
that's
leave.
not a net.
Maybe we should go somewhere else.
What
Bad
is that?
Romulan. Bad.
It's just water.
Okay. It's just a really fancy mister. They should
I
have just
think
used the spray
that looked like a
bottle.
soap dispenser.
Yeah.
Mister.
I
No,
guess like a
don't-
spray bottle for the.
Don't have Picard be the one to interrogate him. Have the former Tal Shiar agents interrogate him. Come on.
Right. I mean, it's his home. The attempt was made on his life.
If you don't
It's his
tell
right
me,
to-
I will offer you Darjeeling tea instead. Maybe we could just, like, hit her with a mind probe. That'd be easier.
You want to be a subject of a Romulan mind probe?
I mean, those are always shown as extremely destructive in TOS and TNG. Like when Lore has Geordi hooking people up. Anyway,
Lore has Data hooking
Yeah.
up Geordi
right, okay.
to the
So-
machine that's going to replace. He's going to inject nanoprobes and replace part of his cerebral cortex with positronic circuitry, and then irradiate.
Yeah, and the
Irradiate
procedure has
his
like a
actual
20%
brain.
chance of success. So
And he's
That's
like,
a pretty
"Oh,
good
one of them
those
will
are good odds.
survive." It's
for your
like,
best friend.
chances are one of the 3 will survive.
So we're best friends. That's what makes us meaningful.
Ryan,
Yes.
you
that's
have a
me.
1 in 5 chance of becoming an immortal synthetic brain, or 4 in 5 chance of just being dead.
Do I have to take that now, or can I take it when I'm like 80?
Right? Yeah, that's the rub, isn't it? It's a limited
Well,
time offer.
Your best friend has to administer it to you. That's the other.
Limited time offer.
I mean, strictly mathematically, I think it makes sense to take the offer because you're trading potentially 60 years for infinity.
For infinite. Yeah, the ROI is incredible.
Though maybe you probably don't want infinity. That might be a bit much.
Oh no, give me infinity. It's great. As long
I
as you
will-
have capacity for all the memories.
Are you sure you want to be here when you're floating
I
in
don't
the
think you want.
empty void and all the stars are dead?
Yeah.
Well,
right.
look, you wouldn't survive being sucked into a star or a black hole. You can still be destroyed.
Well, okay, if we can be
Have fun.
destroyed, then that's fine.
Have fun watching the heat death of the universe, guys. I'll take my mortal.
I
coil.
said immortal, not indestructible. There's
Okay.
a difference.
And it's an important difference. Because if you physically can't die, that's infinite torture.
Right.
I was watching a Voyager episode called Mortal Coil. And again, I feel like that's from Shakespeare, but our bodies are kind of just like a coil, like a wraparound.
The
something that
destroyer
wraps
has
around
come.
us.
If you're gonna kill yourself, why would you give them information first?
destroyer.
Why would he do that?
Choose the form of the destroyer.
Is that gonna be
Don't think
the
of anything.
vision? Coming through the portal, it's not gonna be a Reaper, it's gonna be the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man?
That'd be awesome. I just thought of something that could never hurt us. Something wholesome.
Oh yeah, that
Just
totally is gonna leave a
reminded me
hole in a
of
floor.
summers with my dad.
That Jot Vosh
What is
completely
it?
destroyed Picard's rug.
It's the Stay Puft
His
Marshmallow
table.
Man.
Very disrespectful.
And he really should have killed himself before revealing anything if he was gonna do it anyway.
This is very Truman Show. Like, how do you figure out everything's a lie?
Is everything a lie?
Like,
Are you a lie?
don't have a mom that you talk to every day. I want to say I like this bad guy because he gave you those. He was like attractive enough, but to be like a romantic subplot, but still
I'm
villainous
not sure
enough for
about
you
the
to hate him.
haircut. Or the lack
It's very
thereof,
much
I suppose.
Red Cock in his.
I talk to your mom
bad
every
day.
day. She says I'm dapper. A dapper gentleman.
I'll have you know I'm a very handsome boy.
He was very likable. Like, you wanted him to continue as the love interest.
You did.
Okay.
He's trying to murder people.
Yeah. As all.
Are you saying you could fix him?
Could fix him. Oh boy.
I just think, I get lost in those dreamy eyes and that's it.
Those dreamy eyes are going to be the last thing you see as he sticks a dagger in your chest.
Yeah. That's what
Is
my
it-
one thing is that they say you'll never find her before we do, but they already know exactly where she is.
Yeah. I
think,
guess they
like-
don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Or he was just saying factually because he knows for 100% certainty that he can't find her before they do.
Maybe. Actually, it might have been deliberately to lead him off the trail, which is to the point of why say that when you're going to kill yourself as a way to lead him
Gross.
away from what's actually going on.
What's actually going on?
That they already know where she is and what's going on.
Aren't they gonna ambush her sister on a fake date or something?
Her sister's already dead.
Oh, okay. I missed that episode. Okay.
Her sister
Yeah, they
died
killed her
in
in the first one.
episode 1. She got exploded.
Yeah. That was a shocker. Because we only saw Laurel for one episode.
No one was as shocked as she was. See a look on her face when she disintegrated.
God, these two's relationship is really creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
So that is the woman you were mentioning before, right, Ryan? Who
Yeah.
Looks like she should have the ears on her. Okay.
Yep.
So we have 2 Romulan spies in Starfleet?
Probably more, but yes, at least 2.
Okay.
That's their whole MO. That's all Romulans do. They're a culture of spies.
Right.
Yeah. And yes, you're lying about having not told Commodore that. That's what she explicitly told you to do.
But does she know it's a lie?
I don't know.
I gotta say, I really like how Voyager kept the classic TNG uniform even after DS9 had upgraded. So
Nope, Voyager didn't. They had the Deep Space Nine uniform, not the First Contact uniform.
yeah.
Voyager always had color on top, black on bottom, as
Okay.
opposed to black on top, color on bottom like TNG.
Our ship is black on the top side. Yours is black on the bottom
Yeah.
side.
Yep.
I fail to see the significant difference. Picard, you know you have to take her because every group dynamic show has to have a nerdy, quirky character. That's how this works.
You know, that's true, but I really like how they also psychologically go into Dr. Girardi. She also is prone to depression and anxiety, and they weren't scared to show that.
And murder.
Like when, yeah, there is a sinister side to her too. But usually, you know, the quirky character is all like lovable, you know, like bubbly, and this one is prone to like daddy issues.
FreeCloud sounds like a website where people upload their independently produced music.
Yes. Or where you can store your photo album of your baby shower.
Or your independently produced music about your baby shower.
Or the documentary about how you made an independently produced music video about your baby shower photo album.
It's very LimeWire, you know, Napster, shareware.
No. It's like PhotoBucket.
Isn't PhotoBucket
Flickr.
dead?
No, it still exists.
I mean,
Nobody
LimeWire-
uses it, but it exists.
LimeWire, Napster still technically exist also.
Well, LimeWire is just malware now.
Did you get the
It was
nostalgia?
always malware, man.
Yeah, it was.
Well, maybe. At the beginning, I feel like it wasn't, but it
Stop
didn't
playing the
last long.
TNG theme. This isn't TNG.
TNG theme. So where are these round nacelles, you say?
They were.
I don't know. They everything had thrusters in the back for some reason, more
Who's
than
had
any
this?
Star Trek ship ever did.
Thin nacelles wrapping out of there.
All right, so there were probably more that I didn't count, but I counted 30 TNG references in those first 3 episodes.
You caught the
Jeez.
engage at the end?
Did he say engage?
Yeah,
did
he said
say
engage as we were all talking.
31 TNG references in the first 3 episodes.
Thank you.
So, yeah, they're definitely leaning on. Oh god, if we do a reference counter for Lower Decks, I don't think I can. It's gonna be every other sentence.
And also, there's episodes with literally hundreds of them.
Yeah. Okay. So next episode is Elnor. It's Absolute Candor, where he decapitates a dude.
Alnor. Oh, Alnor.
Elnor.
Forgot
Alnor.
about Alnor.
And then episode 5.
And they
with
remembered.
Yeah.
They remembered that Romulans have green blood, which is nice.
Yes.
Nice little touch.
Stardust City Rag, which is about 7 of 9, and Picard doing a really terrible French accent.
Yeah.
For being a
And
French
then-
man, yes. Very bad.
Episode 6, I believe, was where we see the vision of the apocalypse. It's the Impossible Box, but should be good.
But yes, for ear review, it is next week with Stardust City Red that we just see the eye.
Okay, thanks. Be there, be square, guys.
I like squares. They're in good shape. They stack very well. They're
Be
very
there and
regular.
be a
They're
blood
easy to
cube,
draw.
guys.
Are you? Are we still alive?
I am still. Hang on, let me press the end stream button. In 3,